Hi everybody, Teresa and I here. We want to talk just briefly about the cruise, answer a few questions that have come in. So Teresa?
All right, so we are so excited to have you guys join us. We're looking forward to a great time together. Just wanted to let you know that although we are cruising together, that doesn't mean that we are tied together at the hip. Everyone is on their own for whatever activities they want to do. We're going to have time together, but if you and your family want to go off and do something special, then you have every opportunity to do that. We just want to sit back and relax and enjoy our time, and the more that we have together, the more opportunity we have to do that. You might want to consider to start it off nice and stress-free is to fly in a day early so that we all get to the boat on time, because it's going to sail with or without us. So if there's any flight issues, we want to avoid that. So you might consider flying in the day before.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the actual procedures and mechanics of getting on the ship. Prior to the cruise itself, you're going to have some documents you need to do. It's a little bit like flying for standard aircraft travel. You have some online check-in. You'll need to check in before the actual cruise. It's pretty straightforward. It's easy to understand. Additionally, you're going to get some luggage tags. They'll have direct explanation on those as well. Just know that they're coming. And what those do is they tell the porters at the ship where that bag goes. So you'll tag your bag the night before you get on the boat. Not before you fly, the night before you get on the boat. And then once we get to the cruise, you set them down and the staff miraculously take your bags away and they appear at your stateroom. It's pretty slick. Now in regards to getting from wherever you're staying to the cruise, we were going to talk about transfers. If you fly in the day of the event, Royal Caribbean has a very well organized transfer process. They have staff at the airport. They wrangle everybody, put you on a bus, shoot you down to the port. If you're staying at a hotel, 90% of the hotels there have transfers to and from the port. It's just part of business for them. We'll be booking our hotel here pretty shortly. It'll obviously have transfers. You're welcome to stay in the same hotel, and then we can all go together. As Teresa alluded to, we're organized this, have done this, organized these several times to allow twofold for you to have a good time and enjoy it, but please don't feel obligated like you have to follow us around everywhere we go. You're going to want your private time, we understand that, but it's still going to be a great time.
And once you're on board, there's no need to have any credit card, carrying around a bunch of stuff. You're going to have something called a C-Pass, which is just like a little credit card that they give to you. It's going to be your room key. It's going to be your identification for disembarking and getting back on for the ports. If you want to purchase anything, you just use your C-card. And then it means that most everything on the ship is going to be included, all the shows and obviously the dinners. But there are going to be some times where you need to pay for something, alcoholic drinks, other type of things. The seat pass is going to be used for that. So that's pretty much it for that.
Okay. The boarding procedure, just we'll kind of get back to that for a moment. The boarding procedure is a little bit like boarding an airplane. You have several layers of security. Obviously, it's a ship, so it's a little bit tighter. You'll approach the desk, and we're trying to do this in group. And you present your passport, all your documentation. At that point, they process you, do everything. Then, as Teresa said, they give you your C-Pass, and then you can just hop onto the ship at that point. The actual boarding time, well, will be determined by Royal Caribbean here pretty shortly, and we like to board about 12 seconds after they allow you to. I like to get on the ship pretty early. Allows you time to kind of spread out and relax. Okay, so plan on that. One thing that's changed in regards to those of you who've cruised in the past is gratuities. Normally, we had these envelopes, and if you remember that you left tips for the porter, you left tips for the wait staff, etc. That's changed. They've done away with that process, and now the gratuities are actually included in your cruise. You're obviously encouraged and allowed to tip beyond that, but know that that little old school process is gone away from.
The staterooms that you're going to be staying in are very small. I mean, they're not like uncomfortably small, but the showers specifically are pretty small. So just a heads up that you're going to be not going to have a lot of room to spread out, but it'll be comfortable, but it's not going to be super large. And so just so you know, showers are small. You're just going to be sleeping there, changing there, getting dressed and ready. So it's not a big deal, but I just want to let you know, showers are small.
Showers are indeed small. And we can say it as much as you want, but once you see it, you're going to say, wow, the showers are small. One quick note in regards to the room, we do have somebody that wants to cruise with us, single passenger. She doesn't have a roommate to book with. So if you are looking to go on the cruise but you don't have somebody to go with, let us know. We might be able to link you guys up to share a room. So let's help it out.
Okay, we have one for dinner. We have, everyone is right now, we're seated for the late dinner, which is, I think is around 8:30. We may not be able to all be at the same table because we have a rather large group, but Adrian did say that they would be, at least we'd all be sitting in the very same area. So I think dinners were going to be real enjoyable, be able to sit down and kind of review the days and kind of have a chance to chat. There will be one formal night where people will get dressed up. Fred and I and Rannon do plan on taking advantage of that. Fred's going to be in his tux. I'm going to be wearing a formal. Rannon's going to be dressed up. And you're welcome to do that if you like. Don't have to, but if you want to, you're welcome to. And they actually have tux rentals there on the boat, but you'll have to get measured and stuff beforehand so that they make sure they have the size that you need. What else?
Yeah, you can visit with Adrian on that. You will need to plan for it. It's not unfortunately unable just to walk on and rent a tux. So gentlemen, if you're going to do that, if you're going to go that route, it makes it easier. You don't have to take it with you, but you can look at that. It's online, and you can talk to Adrian about that as well. A couple of technical notes in regards to cell phones and internet. I encourage you to look at your cell phone plan, because once we leave port, once we push away from Miami, a lot of your phones will start roaming, and if you do not have an international plan, I'm not really sure what will happen. We've had some interesting stories of people going on international rates and coming back with some astronomical phone bills. So make sure you talk to your cell provider and find out what's available. They do have short-term international travel cell packages, but make sure that you know what you're getting into. I encourage you just to shut it off. If we're all together, let's take some time off and just get away from everything. You will have internet access on board. You can actually call from the ship as well. It's about $5,000 a second. It's pretty pricey, maybe not that much, but make sure that everything is squared away before you leave, so you don't have to communicate too much back and forth. That would be my suggestion. Excursions. There's a lot of things that you can do once you get to the individual ports. The excursions are the organized events that the cruise line puts on. They range from kayaking and hiking to wine tasting to heaven knows what. I encourage you to look at the website and see what they're offering for the Bahamas Cruise. I can't speak off the top of my head. I know there's a wide variety. There's some that are really popular, and they have a finite number of slots in those excursions. So if you find one you really, really want to do, I encourage you to book that excursion the day you arrive on the ship. And there'll be a little bit of a line there because it's a pretty popular thing to do. You're not required to do any excursions. There's been times in Teresa and I did nothing. We just did our own excursions. We did some research about the individual places, went about, had the best time of our lives. It was a really good time. But plan ahead as always.
Real quick note back to the dinner. Every night we'll have a dinner time where you can go to the dining hall and sit down, and you'll have a 3-course meal. They take really good care of you, but you don't have to eat dinner there each night. They have several places around the ship that are like the buffet. The Windjammer buffet is open almost 24 hours, or is it 24 hours? Anyway, it's really, it has everything that you could want, and that's included in your fare. There's also several cafes that you can choose from. They also have a couple specialty restaurants where you would have to pay. I mean, those are like, if you want a more intimate setting, or if you want something special just for you and someone else or whatever, that's available as well. So dining options, we have our thing that's set with the cruise, but also you have other options as well.
Okay, kids program. Some of you are bringing your kids along. I encourage you to. We're bringing ours, especially for the younger ones. They have kids programs on the ship. We've never used them, but everybody we've talked to has gotten great feedback, and there's a ton of stuff to do. There's no shortage of things to do on the ship, as Teresa's alluding to. There's always a concert, there's a trivia contest, there's bingo, which sounds silly, but it's funner than it sounds. There's always something going on, or you can sit on the deck and just relax. So there's no shortage of things to do. Try to educate yourself as much as possible before the cruise so you know what to expect. Now, when it all wraps up and we disembark, it's important that you understand that while the Royal Caribbean lists Miami as our last day, that last day begins pretty early in the morning. we generally disembark by 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. So the ship will pull in port and we'll have to hop off the boat. In fact, you will be required to pack your bags and put your suitcases outside your stateroom door the night before. And the staff will come by, pick up the bags, and then take them down to the luggage. You'll then be directed to a certain part of the ship, depending upon where you're at. Maybe the auditorium, maybe a lounge, and you'll be in a group. And those groups will be released at different times. That just allows for more fluid and
crowd
control for disembarking the ship as opposed to one giant push out.
And a real quick note on that is you may want to consider doing like a carry-on bag where you have all of your toiletries and all the things that you would need to get ready in the morning, change your clothes, all that type of stuff, because your bags are going to be out in the hallway and you're not going to be able to have access to them once they're gone especially. So have your bag so then when you get up in the morning you'll have that all together.
So the last thing I'd encourage you to do is if you have specific questions or concerns, contact Adrienne. She's done multiple cruises for us. She's a rock star. She'll treat you well. She'll do her very best to get you the best deal possible. But make sure that all your questions are answered. And if there's something that you want to privately ask, you can send it to us. We'll do our best to get you an answer. But it's really a good time. And as Teresa alluded to one more time, it's a great chance for everybody to get together and still have your quiet time, still have your alone time. The ship is a lot bigger than you think. If you get seasick, bring your medication. If you're worried about being seasick, I wouldn't worry too much about it. The ship is very, very large, but we'll make the very best of it.
Okay, I think that's it.
All right, we'll see you in Miami.
Take care.
Nibbling on sponge cake, watching the sun bake. All of those tourists